seen Boko Haram regroup and regroup and regroup. What is your answer to that? That you have in some way fed the insurgents?
The problem is that I think we've talked to international community. Let's find out the funding. When they started surrendering, by the time we left, so as we speak, we have over 120,000 that have surrendered. Most of them, when you find them, they are coming with hard currencies. How did they get them? How are they funded? How did they get the training? How did they get the equipment?
What is your suspicion?
Well, maybe an international conspiracy. You don't know. Who knows? How are they be able to sustain themselves for 15 years? That is one question I think everybody should ask himself. For Nigeria to be able to hold them, and you go to Nigeria, everything looks...
Hello guys, welcome back again to my channel. How we all doing today? I have to play that first clip for you guys because this thing happened some time ago, but the thing that is trending right now is that an American congressman came out to say that during Obama's regime that the US aid was sponsoring Boko Haram on some terrorist group around the world. I'm going to play that clip for you guys, then we're going to see how people reacted to this news, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And
when you look at the Boko Haram conspiracy in Nigeria, when you read articles on it, when you watch all those documentaries on it, or when you hear people speak about it, you know, people always say this thing that an international body is sponsoring Boko Haram. Like, people has been hinting on this thing for a longest time because the way the Chibok girls disappeared, everything that was going on in Abuja as of that time, you know, people keep saying that where are they getting money to sustain themselves inside that bush? How are they able to survive till this period? And what happened to the Chibok girls? Where are they and everything? How are they able to sustain these people in the bush? Like, it's a lot of questions, but this is actually, you know, throwing it out here for us to...
So it has just been confirmed today in the US Congress that US aid has been directly funding terrorist organizations across the world like Boko Haram in Nigeria. As in, the US government was directly sending tens of millions of dollars to destabilize the Nigerian state and lead to the death of tens of thousands of Nigerian people for at least a decade now. And from that story alone, we can then deduce that it's very obvious that America orchestrated the collapse of Nigeria. And let me just give you some background to this story, right? So we had from 2010 to 2014 a Nigerian government that was essentially ensuring Nigeria's economic growth. I'm not going to say that this government was amazing. They were not. They had corruption. There were problems. But at the end of the day, Nigeria's economy was growing massively. I'm saying like 8%, 10% economic growth year on year. Nigeria was actually on track to become $1 trillion economy by this year, by 2025. And beyond that, they were also on track to become a superpower nation. They were actively expanding their influence across the African continent and across the world. Nigeria was in an amazing position. But obviously, this goes against American interests. America cannot have a powerful African nation challenging their, interest in the region. So what do? They funded Boko Haram. And from that's where the collapse of Nigeria started. Because Boko Haram was a massive problem. They were bombing Abuja. They claimed a territory the size of Belgium in Nigeria. They were destabilizing the country fully. It was a very bad position for this country to be in, and that is where Buhari comes in. Buhari was a former military dictator, and he petitioned to the people as somebody who would be tough on terrorism because, he was part of the military, Abi. So you can really see that America funding Boko Haram made this guy very popular. And then beyond that, America went as far as banning the sale of weapons to the Nigerian government. So the Nigerian government could not even fight against Boko Haram if they wanted to because they were denied access to any weaponry to fight against them. Why exactly would America ban the sale of weapons and fund a terrorist group at the same time if they're not trying to cause this government to collapse? This is very simple. This is very easy to see. Like, the correlation is right there. But I go further. On the eve of the 2015 election, Obama himself, the president of America, made a call to Nigerian people to go for change, to make the right decision. It was very clearly an endorsement, of the opposition candidate Buhari against the incumbent government of Goodluck Jonathan. The American government was actively fighting against the Nigerian state to ensure that the incumbent government lost to Buhari, the opposition candidate. And now we'll see the results of this issue, right? Because America succeeded. They got the incumbent government to lose. Goodluck Jonathan lost the election, and Buhari came to power. And what exactly has been the result of that? The result is America has won. Their interests have been met. Nigeria has collapsed. In the past 10 years since our election, since 2015, Nigeria's economy has gone from roughly $580 billion in 2015 to $200 billion in 2025. In 10 years, our GDP has more than halved. Our GDP per capita right now is less than $1,000. We are at par with nations like Haiti, Somalia, and Congo. Nigeria has fallen off completely. Our military is weakened. Terrorist groups, so many. We have ISWAP, we have Lakurara, we have Boko Haram. Several different organizations at work in Nigeria right now, destabilizing the state even more. And now we know that America is one that orchestrated all of these activities. Now we know that America wants to destroy Nigeria.
You know, I mentioned this countless times before, that Boko Haram, bandits, ISWAP, Janim, and most of them, the weapons they get is actually funded by some clandestine foreign operators, because they are the ones that are supplying them weapons. Now, the Doge expose about the USAID has confirmed that actually Boko Haram and all these terrorists are getting their weapons through the funding that is coming from USAID. Just last year, USAID spent $824 million in Nigeria. Where did the money go to? Do you know what it means by 824 million naira? When you convert it dollars, when you convert it to naira, you'll find out that it's 1.3 trillion naira. Meaning each state, out of the 37 states that we have, each can have up to 36 billion naira. Yet, this is what they claim to have spent in childcare, mortality, some education endowments and co. But what did you see? Nothing. How did the money come in here? Where did it go to? Ladies and gentlemen, this money goes to the funding of Boko Haram and the kidnappers that used to kill and destroy our land. That is the operation. So what Doge has done has exposed it. If you go to the last video I posted on my page, it's a United States congressman that is confirming this statement. A US congressman made a speech by saying that Boko Haram, bandits and terrorists that are operating in the Sahel, all of them are mostly funded by the USAID. Just check the last video I posted. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa is going to be great. Terrorists are now ending. What Donald Trump is doing in the United States is exposing the entire global corruption scandals. This is just a tip of an iceberg. More is going to be released across the African elite. Most of them that are in collaboration with criminals to destroy our land are soon going to be exposed, and we will have chance to reclaim our countries and our continent for the betterment of our people and our future.
So a US congressman by the name of Scott Perry has claimed that US aid has been used to fund terrorist organization, and he names but a few. So he's gone ahead and named, this is what he said: who gets some of that money? Because your money, 697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds in madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, the organization that kidnapped 200 Nigerian girls. Do you remember all of that? Boko Haram, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS, Khorasan, and other training camps. I kind of already was a suspect of the aid that they get. But for this US congressman, Scott Perry, to admit that that money called US aid went to funding people like Boko Haram, who have terrorized Nigerians. You guys, you remember the story of the 200 girls kidnapped in Nigeria. I'm not saying that it was related, but the fact that money from the US aid, according to this US Congressman Scott Perry, has claimed that this money, some of it has gone to places like Boko Haram. Stop. Please stop. Stop.